I thought I knew the ocean. At first, the ocean was an escape from the mills and pollution of 1970s Pittsburgh. Not that Pittsburgh was all bad. We had dinosaur bones in the museum, paddle wheel ships in the rivers, and red, inclined trams on the hills. I even enjoyed the fires of hell view of the blast furnaces of the Jones and Laughlin steel works that we'd pass on evening drives home from the mall. But the air had a brown edge, the older buildings were black from pollution, and although we did have parks, the trees in them often seemed to be fighting for their lives, pushing their roots through cracked concrete and gravel. My brother and I made the best of it, digging coal mines in our backyard and going on Cub Scout field trips, not to campgrounds, but to factories. I love and still love my hometown, but the unborn biologist in me lived for late summer, when I could escape to a natural world that was happily alive. Like millions before and after us, for 2 weeks each August, my family would go to Kill Devil Hills on North Carolina's Outer Banks. After a panicked early morning of my dad saying we couldn't possibly put another item in the trunk of the Dodge, we'd drive through the truck stops of Breezewood, Pennsylvania, around the D.C. Beltline, past the cigarette-shaped headquarters of R.J. Reynolds Tobacco, finally stopping to get peanuts and a fried chicken dinner at the Virginia Diner in Wakefield, and to sleep in a motel that, if the fates smiled on us, had a water slide. The next morning we'd shoot past the North Carolina farm towns of Coinjock, Jarvisburg, and Point Harbor, tiny places remembered by thousands of kids because they were the last countdown to the Wright Memorial Bridge that you took across the Currituck Sound, delivering you from an artificial world of bricks and sidewalks to one that mattered. Having little money, we stayed in what I thought must have been the cheapest hotel on the Outer Banks, a motor court consisting of about 12 concrete, single-family structures, which would have looked like public toilets if they weren't painted pink and had screened porches. Squat and lacking air conditioning, they were cramped and oven-like, but they put me within a few dozen feet of a world that charted the course of my life for the next 50 years. Many love the beach, but for me, raised by a lapsed Catholic and an atheist, the ocean immediately became the object of my awe and devotion. For those 2 weeks, I would spend nearly every waking moment in the water, splashing in the surf when in grade school, moving farther out as I grew, and eventually risking myself in larger and larger waves to see if the ocean would finally swallow me up. I'd also talk to the ocean and send heartfelt goodbyes from the dunes when we had to leave. I was a lonely child, and the ocean provided a link to something powerful and beautiful.